Welcome back, everyone, to Modded Minecraft Season 1 Restarted. So, we are on Season 1, Episode 2, and we are in our lovely and amazing starter base, which I'm really falling in love with. This one is definitely going to be a starter base because I have a feeling we're going to outgrow it actually pretty quickly. But it works for what we have for right now. In the meantime, it is time that we went on a bit of an adventure. We need to go gather some resources. So there's a couple of things that we need to light up, some more things that we need to explore, and it's time to gather some resources. So gather some ores and that kind of thing. And rather than starting mine immediately, we are going to go do a little bit of caving. Nothing too dangerous. We are still on leather armor, but enough that we should be able to at least collect a few things. And I keep running into mobs over here, so we are going to go ahead and light that up. We are going to ignore the drop down hole cave that is right there. We are going to go ahead and head on over here. We've already lit most of this one up, but we haven't grabbed the ores that are right here. And this is going to be the More Gems citrine. Now it looks like that's going to either be an emerald or tourmaline, I do believe it is. Go ahead and head on back down here. We've got some copper here we're going to grab. And that gives us actually quite a bit. Copper is one thing that I can honestly say you don't really need fortune for, despite making it into blocks and mainly using it that way. It's not something you really need fortune for just because you get so much of it. I mean, fortune isn't a bad thing when it comes to that, but it's not something that's as required when, like, unlike when you're doing iron ore or diamond or something like that, where you really want that fortune that can sometimes even double your yield. Copper, you're already getting 1 or 2 drops from each one. So, got some more coal in here. We're still early game, so we definitely need that. We are going to need to switch over to a bit of a lava farm later on, but coal definitely works for now. And though we don't really need it for our gems, we definitely need it for any iron or gold or anything like that that we get our regular vanilla metals. We don't really have a whole lot of the new or the BYG biomes near us. We do have the wheat field over there that I have enjoyed, that we have all enjoyed, but it is not going to be very long before we go exploring because we are definitely going to need. I'm definitely looking forward to using some more of those different types of building blocks, different wood types, and such that really make the game a lot more fun when you are in a modded world. We've got a big cave over there. Let's see, what do we have up here? I know we saw a cave up here earlier. I was pretty sure. I know we've got one over there, but do we have another one over here? I was pretty sure I saw another one over towards this way. Nope. And it is the top of the hill. So, let's see. Do we have any cave openings up here? Valleys? Nothing of the sort, really. Go ahead and make our way back down the hill. Yes, it is only 100 blocks tall, so I'm calling it a hill. We've run into a couple of mountains at this point in our other world where it's upwards of, well, I've run into a couple of other actual mountains in our other world where it's 200 blocks tall, and so it is a real mountain, and so. And that world will probably not be uploaded on just because that is my private world for when I just need a break from recording. So, let's go ahead and sleep. Get rid of this first night. And we are going a bit slower on our modern Minecraft. It is not as much of a run focus. I mean, not that I've had a world that has been just focused on getting to the dragon as fast as we can. I'm definitely not a humongous speedrunner. I like making sure that I have everything in order long before we reach that far. Though, eventually we will get to the point where it's just easier if we get the shulkers, and that is when I usually, when I start getting into the bigger builds where I'm running those, wanting those shulkers, especially if I'm not in a world where I'm okay with using creative and cheats and all of that, then it comes to the point where the shulker boxes really help, and you want them. So, light this up as we go. I'm not seeing any mobs on our map, though I will be keeping an ear out because sometimes, even if they aren't showing up on the map, I will hear them. And it could just be that they are just off my screen. Get some nice iron veins here. We aren't really high enough or low enough for the really nice ones, but we can get a decent amount right here. Yeah, if you get between 17 and I'm gonna say 52. Well, no, it's more like 45 and 95. There's not really enough there to really get into iron mining. If you want an iron mine, you really need it to be between like 120 and 156. Unless you're really gonna go for an iron mine and you're on a mountain, and then you can possibly hit that. I think it's 226, 225, somewhere in there. The real heavy iron mine where you can get the most iron is up there. Otherwise, you need to really drop to Y16, Y negative 16. I've had good luck on Y16. I haven't had as much luck on Y negative 16. I understand why some people say Y negative 16 because then you are in that zone. You're still in the triangle where it's going to be more common, but you're low enough that you're also in the vein section. So if you can get one of those tough iron veins where you can get like a ton of iron and you can find the raw iron blocks, then that's amazing. I've run into them for copper. I haven't run into it in iron yet. And I saw that, I mined it up, I looked at it, I logged out of my game and logged back in because I didn't realize what I was looking for it for a minute. I'm like, I'm not running any world generation mods, am I? Because I hadn't seen that in the files, and I was running a snapshot, and I hadn't seen that in the update. And so I had to actually go looking for the list of what they had changed in the snapshot to finally realize, oh, okay. To actually realize, hey, this is a part of the game now. It's not. And that does sort of explain why they changed the iron blocks and that kind of stuff to the raw format where they used to just drop the block. It has also made it definitely better in it gives us a more general use for Silk Touch rather than just ice and that kind of stuff, because you actually have to be using it to get the block. We're going to sort out this chest real quick a little bit. I need to move into filling this place up with a little bit more chest, and we will be doing that either between this episode and the next, or probably between that episode and the one immediately afterwards. But I have found that organizing my chest from the start helps prevent it from becoming an absolute chest monster by the end. If I have absolutely no organization whatsoever, even if it's just, oh, this one's actually a square block, this one's not. Then I can get a really big chest monster by the end, or by the middle, and I'm just going, let's completely restart. I don't want to even touch any of these chests. Which can cause problems on its own, especially when I think I did that once and I abandoned like 16 diamonds. Because I didn't want to go through the chests. I think that was one of my very first worlds when I first came back to Minecraft. And that is one of the things that I love about Minecraft, is that even coming back years later, because I played this, as I'm sure if you've listened to any of my episodes, you know, I played Minecraft when it first came out. Back in 2011, 2012, clear up to those first couple of updates. I played with it. I played Minecraft a lot. Of course, I was in school back then, and it was our school had just gotten computers, and of course, with it being a really simple game, all of our school laptops could play it. So it was a game that we all played a lot. And then I switched schools and stopped playing it. Didn't really have anybody to play it with, and got sort of bored. Started playing a couple of other games, and I just sort of left the game. I came back for a little bit, right at, I believe it was the Village and Pillage update. I think. I remember we suddenly had the big, huge mansions, and I only know that because I happened to spawn my very first entry back into the game. I spawned next to the mansion. 1 in 1,000 spawn or something like that. Unfortunately, it's one of those mansions that had lava pool right next to it, so I spawned right next to it, but it was far enough away that I didn't really realize what I had spawned next to. I just thought, oh, it's an interesting outcropping. And when I finally got around to actually exploring it, it had burned down. And so I then went on a binge search of trying to find, what is this? Until I finally got to explore one. But by that point, I think I was in college, and I got caught up with all the things on campus, And so I never really got back into the game. And then we had the humongous break from COVID, and I really seriously came back. And I have to definitely say that my gameplay has completely done a 180 switch since then. Which, I mean, happens in games, but I think it's also, I know a lot more about the game. And let's see, we've got a good amount. I'm trying to think of durability and all of that because we're going to make up a new tool real quick now that we've got everything organized. But the game had changed just enough that I was familiar with most of the mechanics, but I wasn't familiar anymore with all of the mechanics. We are going to go ahead and go with that topaz pickaxe, and we're going to go ahead and make up a hammer as well. And it is just about time to sleep, so we are going to have to go ahead and do that. But the whole point of this ramble is that all of the updates, I mean, there's a huge shift between if you go back and you play, I think it was 1.8 was the last one I really seriously played, and then you jump into 1.16. There is a humongous change in the game, in the mechanics. I freaked out because I suddenly had pillagers, people that were attacking me. I'm in a survival world. I wasn't it's the middle of the day. I wasn't on the defensive at all. And suddenly I have these people with crossbows walking up to me. And they get within 10 blocks and they attack me. And I'm like, what? So YouTube really became a godsend because I was trying to figure out what was going on. But I mean, that is one of the, as I was saying, that is one of the things that I have loved about Minecraft and coming back to it is that we have a community both online and offline that you can pick this stuff back up pretty quick. And B, despite it humongously changing, and I mean, the change between 1.8 and say 1.18 might be a little bit too overwhelming, but go ahead and put those in our offhand. Head back down on into this mine. We explored that one, we've got to go find that other one. But despite there being that huge gap, it's still a game that is, I want to say, simple enough. I mean, Minecraft can be a pretty complex game, but at the same point in time, it is simple enough that you can take that humongous break and come back, and the game is still going to be the same enough that it's going to be something that you can enjoy. And we are not going that way. I see a spider, which wouldn't be too bad, but if it's already got a spider, I can't, looks like it's a bit of a big space, and I can't see what else is over there. So, we're gonna wait on that section. We've got a big enough section over here that we can explore. But, you can come back, and it's a completely different game. And then I came back and got into some of the mini games. I really enjoyed Skyblock. Really super enjoyed One Block Skyblock. Once I got the mechanic of the game down and a good enough internet connection. Because that is one game that you really do need an internet connection for, because I played it for a little bit without the best internet connection, and I kept losing blocks. Like, because my internet wasn't fast enough, the game would glitch. I'd fall through the block, which you're not supposed to be able to do. But and then we discovered mods, which changed the game again for me because it opened up this humongous world of being able to change the gameplay just a little bit. Um, there's some mods that I don't think that that I don't like playing without. Ooh, okay, we're gonna stop there. A spider is one thing, a witch is completely different. We are wearing leather armor. We are not prepared for a witch. Not at all. But Minecraft is a game that can be enjoyed by all ages. And it's one of the reasons I love it so much. We are going to go ahead and finish off with, I believe, this cave here. It's one of the things that I love about Minecraft is that whether you are 8 or 18 or 28 or 58, it's a game that can be enjoyed by all ages. And it's a game that's simplistic enough that the complexity of the game is up to you. You can go out there and you can do the humongous builds, or you can decide not to. Or you can do the humongous builds in creative mode, or you could choose to take the challenge and do that humongous build in survival, or even in hardcore. The difficulty of the game is up to you, and I think that is one of the greatest things about Minecraft. And one of the reasons that this is one game that can more or less stand to the test of time. Because there's 1,000 different ways to play it, and 1,000 different types of people who can play it. So, if you are watching this, I would like it if you could leave a comment. What type of Minecraft player are you? And in the meantime, thank you for watching this episode of Modded Minecraft. I will see you next time, and I hope you have a wonderful Minecraft day. Thank you for watching. This is Amethyst64, signing off.